Hello everybody, how's everyone doing tonight? Hey Mike, good to see you buddy. Thanks for stopping by and spending a little time with us today on the channel. Getting everything arranged here on my screen. Google decided to wake up all of a sudden. Steve Lang, Shark River Machine. Hello, how are you? Hey Stan, how you doing buddy? I want to thank everybody for watching the channel and encourage you guys all to subscribe to the DoRite Fabrication channel if you don't already. That helps us out in a lot of ways, all us YouTubers. It helps us quite a bit. So please, down the bottom, if you haven't already subscribed, there's a little bell if you want to get emails when we put out new videos. Please do that. Hey Ray, what's going on buddy? How are you? Couple things I want to talk to you about. First being that next week, Chris Feeble from American Rotary is going to be here in the shop with me for the day. We're going to be doing some live stream stuff. Going to be doing a little bit of filming. It's going to be a good time. If you guys don't know Chris, he's a hoot, man. He's a lot of fun. He's always cutting up and it's just, you know, being nutty, and you know, I'm actually really looking forward to him being here because, you know, it's just a good time. We're gonna film some stuff here and do a little live talk about American Rotary phase converters, a little bit about the shop, and just a general good time. Craig Young, hello. Blue Wolf, hello. Hey Doug at Retro Weld. Doug, am I gonna see you soon? I hope I'm gonna see you real soon. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the title up there, Irma Didn't Win, because I know we started doing these live things around Christmas and then it just got like crazy and couldn't, I haven't been able to. Family, life happens. A lot of insignificant, boring things to everybody else, but I just haven't been able to do it. So I want to talk to you about the shop. During Hurricane Irma, the the gable and then the soffit and fascia lost what little bit of covering I had on it. Robert Sword, hello, Robert. Ray, yes, I am looking forward to it. And so, because again, life happens, I have a full-time job, a part-time job, and then I have the YouTube channel, which keeps me very busy. Plus, I have 3 little boys. Those of you who don't know, I have an 8, a 5, and a 2-year-old, and a wife, and they're all fairly demanding. At least the children are. My wife's not so demanding. It just keeps me busy. And so the repairs to the shop haven't happened up till recently. And I wanted to show you a little picture here. We'll see if we can make this pop up. I don't know if you guys can see that. Actually, somebody let me know if you can see that. You should be able to see a little picture up here. That's the outside edge of the shop. And what you're seeing there is the new Tyvek going on the shop. It was a kind of a one-man show, so I had a buddy of mine. I hired him to come over for the day and help me stretch Tyvek. It's, you know, kind of tough to do one guy in a ladder. Thank you. And so, you know, it's interesting to do things from a ladder, especially when you're, you know, 6'5" and 260 plus pounds. It's interesting to do, you know, some things from a ladder. There's the old Mike Nixon monkey in a football adage going on there. But here's what it looked like when we got it all done. This is actually the other end of the shop, but it's all I had taken with my cell phone. So you can see there we got the siding all put back on, the Tyvek up, and then we did the soffit and fascia. Here's another little shot of that. That's the front of the shop. You can see the soffits and fascia are in. Not all the lighting up along the front was put back on at that point, but it's finally all buttoned back up, and I did not let Hurricane Irma keep me beat down. There's a lot of people here in this area that still have damage from the hurricane, still a lot of blue tarps. I mean, guys, it's expensive. When this hurricane comes through, the insurance doesn't pay it all. Matter of fact, most of the time it's not like half or whatever. So a lot of people just financially they're struggling with the the tarps on the roof. And so let me pop this back up. I do have enough signs. Blue Wolf asked me, do I have enough signs? Well, it's kind of my thing. I like kind of the eclectic thing. I like old signs. My grandfather worked for Gulf Oil way back, like in the, I guess it would have been the early 40s, and he was kind of a machinist repair guy for Gulf Oil. They used to have river barges that would deliver oil. And I really want a Gulf Oil sign, but thanks to this show called Pickers, you can't afford one. I mean, they want like $1,000, $1,500 for an old Gulf Oil sign, and I'm not spending that kind of money for a sign. So, we go to different swap meets and stuff and find cool, I like funny signs. I just like that kind of stuff. Yeah, Blue Wolf says old signs are cool. I do. I like the old vintage signs. Some of these back here behind me, I just think like the slow children at play. Well, my children aren't slow, but I'm like a child and I might be a little slow, so it's pretty fitting. And I just find stuff like that humorous and funny. Hey, Randy Richard! There's my buddy. He's the friendliest guy on YouTube. If you guys haven't been to Randy Richard's channel, go check him out. He has got to be the friendliest guy on YouTube. And Bo really wants to see you again this year, Randy, really badly. So another announcement I have for you guys, if you haven't seen my latest video up on the YouTube channel, American Rotary has taken the DoRite Fabrication YouTube channel on as a sponsor. Now, what that means for me is that they have provided me with a piece of equipment to use here in the shop, which is a rotary phase converter, and that's helped me immensely making YouTube videos because the old one that I have over there is horribly noisy. A lot of work to give good quality audio, and it also can't be out in the weather. The one that they sent me is actually out behind the shop, and I'm really excited to have that. Hey, Randy Richard says, say hi to my son Bo. I will. Blue Wolf calls Randy Richard Mr. Mustache. That's funny. My son Bo calls him Mr. Mustache too. Thank you, Steve. What in the end, that's going to net you guys a much quieter video, and we've done a lot of upgrades here to the shop. They're not all done yet. I'm still trying to get it done. Remember, I work a full-time job, a part-time job, 3 kids, so it's just whenever I can get the work done. Randy Richard says he has an American Rotary and it's really quiet. How many horse converter? Mine's a 20. It'll do up to 20 horsepower. It's the AI series, so it's in the NEMA rated box out back, and I'll show you a couple pictures. Here we go. This is a picture of it when it arrived. That's my tractor. It came on a semi truck, so naturally you have to. They just drop it right wherever it is. So I had to bring it up here to the shop, and I snapped a couple of pictures. Question is, what RZ production company? I guess it's RZ Protoco. What else you got to do? Still some wiring. I'll explain that in a minute. What's my part-time job? Welding, fabricating, anything that I can do to make extra money. Repairs. Used to be a mechanic, so I repair equipment, heavy equipment, farm equipment, lawnmowers, weed eaters, you name it. Whatever whatever it takes. It's like somebody posted, is it 220 or 220 volts or 221, whatever it takes, right? So we'll pop this picture down, and let's pop this one up. There it is, actually behind the shop, kind of sitting in its. Yeah, Craig Young says he does windmills. Well, yeah, whatever, right? Whatever it takes to make money, not just lathes. So this is the converter where it's kind of sitting behind the shop now, and so what it required me doing to get this this phase converter up and going was to rewire the outside of the shop, and there's actually a new video up if you haven't had a chance to check it out on my YouTube channel. It's probably going to be 3 videos, I'm guessing. You know, we haven't edited it all out yet, but the first one is up. Did you get the remote? Shade HKW asked if I got the remote start. I did not get the wireless one, Stan. I got the wired remote. Actually, if you look behind me, there's a switch box right there, and then if you look, you see the little black, that's the base for the remote start. It's already wired in. I've already run the signal wires out there, the low voltage wires to get it done. Am I putting in, you guys are all ahead of me, so hang on, I'll explain. Yeah, you guys are asking a lot of great questions. So I had the panel that's going to feed that RPC takes about 100 amps, and it was only a 100 amp panel, and the places were all filled. So it required me to set a new 200 amp panel. The 200 amp panel, that first video is up on the YouTube channel. Little did I know that there's a whole lot of electrical experts out there that have pointed out everything I've done wrong, but what they don't realize is I'm actually not finished. I did have to heat the box up because I needed the refrigerator and the water fountains and lights out back to work. But, you know, guys, it is what it is. I do the best I can. It's all safe. It's all done correctly to code, or it will be when I'm done. Howdy, Aaron. How are you? Thank you, Ray, on the great job on the panel. Nick Tamar, I hope I'm pronouncing that. Wish I had the math skills to run lathes. Well, and Nick, we all started out just wrecking stuff. Hopefully not the lathe, but, you know, just tearing up metal. You know, sometimes it's not as hard if you just draw it all out. Scott Tyndall, hello Scott. Why did you use aluminum wire? Because in this state, aluminum wire is acceptable for service feed. And to be honest with you, I have a ton of it. I say a ton. I probably have 75 feet of it left over from a 1,600 foot spool when I ran the wire here to the shop. So it's free. It is acceptable in Florida as long as you use the anti-oxidizing agents on it. And every home here has aluminum wire as the service feed. Now, that's not the wires, just the service feed. Yeah, there's no problem. ViperVet03 asks, is there a problem with aluminum wire in Florida? Not as long as you put the deoxidizing compound on it, or it's deox or anti-oxidizer. There's a bunch of brand names of it. Aaron says he's doing good. It's stinking cold here in Montana. I don't mean to rub it in, Aaron, but it was 85 degrees today, and I had to start stripping shirts off when I was working out in the sun. It got pretty hot. No, yes, not the branch wires. That is correct. Just the service feed that comes in, aluminum is acceptable. So I'm getting to your question. You're a Canadian welder farmer. So behind me, if you look right there, that's a 3-phase panel. Okay. So what's had to happen here is I had to put a new 200 amp service behind the shop to feed the RPC. When the RPC powers up, it will feed that panel. That panel has 3 breakers in it. And yeah, I found out how expensive square D breakers are. That is ridiculous. You can buy 3 single pole square D QO breakers for like $7 a piece. Buy 1 3-pole breaker. The cheapest I can find them anywhere is $120 a breaker. Ouch. I need 3 breakers, by the way. Luckily, I had a friend who's an electrician. He had 2 used breakers sitting around. So that's going to get me by for a little while. I'm going to try to scrounge up another one. And, you know, we'll put it on the wish list here for the shop. Currently, Aaron says it's currently 10 degrees in Montana. Holy crap. Sorry, some of this stuff is running off the screen, so I'm trying to see what you guys are all writing. Eve Dossiers, I probably butchered your name. Probably. Scott Tyndall's Home Shop, just wanted to say hi and nighttime for me. I would have used a splitter trough and kill switches. Don't quite understand what that is. Yeah, Craig, I would have used, actually I would have used Cutler Hammer or Siemens or, you know, GE. The panel out back, I bought at Home Depot. I've been even walking through Home Depot, and they had like a clearance stack of panels, all 200 amp GE panels for $25 a piece. I bought 3 of them because you just, I'm going to use them. But if this was American Rotary sent me this one, the Square D one. If they hadn't sent it to me, I would have not used the Square D. Square D makes great stuff. They're just expensive. I'll see if I have some takeouts. What amp? Stan Zinkowski says he may have some takeouts. Stan, I need a Square D QO20. I need 2 20s and a 30. The mill for 20 for the mill, a 20 for the lathe, and a 30 for the Duo bandsaw because the Duo has that blade welder built into it, so it's got a high inrush. I'm trying, Eve. I'm trying. It's hard for a Florida redneck. You got to cut me a little slack here. It's with the best intentions, I promise. Let's talk about a couple other things here. I'll show you a couple of pictures of the panels here. We'll pop that out. This is behind the shop. This is after the panels like somewhat buttoned up. It's actually heated up because of the refrigerators and all. And I had some other lighting issues that I had to attend with out back. But that's the new 200 amp panel. And then here is the one that you actually see behind me. Unfortunately, I lost some of my sign space. I mean, you guys know I like my signs, right? But it is what it is. The squeeze is definitely worth the juice. Well, Randy Richards says the 20 amp for the mill, what is it, 15 horsepower? No, Randy, I think it's 12 horsepower. But I looked on the panel, the electrical, the box with all the relays in it, and it shows it, I think, at 14 amps maximum inrush. So Eve said it's 2 degrees in northern Ontario, Canada. You can keep that crap, buddy. I'm sure it's beautiful to visit, but these, man, I couldn't do it. Randy was asking about the power. So I ran number 12 wire. Number 12 is rated for 20 amps, and all the machines are fused at the machine. So the fuses at the machine, and I talked about this in the video, but a lot of people don't know this. Breakers are not to protect your appliance. They have nothing to do with protecting whatever's plugged into your appliance. Breakers are to protect the wire. So that you don't get a heating element situation in a short. So breakers can be sized up to the size of the wire. So I'm with $120 a piece breaker. I don't know what there may be another lathe there down the road. I hope a bigger lathe someday. Not everybody can be like Randy Richard or Keith Rucker with a whole ton of lathes all over their shop. I just try to do it once, and the fuses that are inside that lathe will let go whatever they're rated. I don't remember what they're rated at. I want to say they're 15 amp fuses in it. I'm not sure. Aaron, Nick Timmer, it's going to be below 0 this weekend. Golly. Farmer John Gaming. Are you look familiar in the Orlando area? Yes, sir, I am in the Orlando area. Actually, I don't live in the Orlando area. I live about an hour and a half outside of Orlando, but I work for Orlando Fire Department, and I've been there almost 23 years. So, and I used to live in downtown Orlando for a long time. You have to have at least 3. At least 3, Randy. 3 what? 3 amps? 3 fuses? Yes, there are 3 fuses in that machine. There's 1 for each leg. Blue Wolf says you have to mark clearly. All electrical cabinets have to clearly mark here. The same with all oils and fluids. Yeah, there's 3 fuses in that machine. Oh, lathes. Randy Richards said you have to have at least 3 lathes. Yeah, you do, Randy. You need to have at least 3, but remember, well, just not in my budget. Viper Vet 03, how many acres are you on today? I assume you mean how many acres is this property? I own 20, and then I lease 80 next to me. So it's a continuous property line. It's on a long-term lease. So My boys have pretty much 80 acres of woods and swamp or to go do whatever they want. And they're not quite big enough yet, but they're starting to venture out there and already ask about building tree forts, and that's the general purpose. Oh, the fire department get mad if you don't. Blue Wolf says the fire department gets mad if they don't mark the panels where they are. So I'm a farm. I'm a legitimized farm as far as the county is concerned, which gives me agricultural exemption. Under agricultural exemptions, I have no inspections that are necessary. The only inspection is when the power company comes to hook. Like when I did the original service feed here, power company comes and they want to look at your box, they want to look at your electrical layout, because they don't want to plug into you if you've got a short or a ground fault situation and blow up their expensive transformer. Yeah, and this panel's not hot. There's not even a service leg into this panel yet. All the conduits run. I'm just waiting. Payday is tomorrow, so I'll go to Home Depot and buy some wire probably this week to finish that up. It'll have to be a number 3 or a number 4 copper, and there's quite a few feet of it, so we'll do that this week and get ready for Chris Feeble to come. Couple of really exciting things I want to talk to you about. Spring Make. Lincoln Electric is putting on a Spring Make. It is an invitation event, so excitingly, I got invited to go there. It's up at the Lincoln factory. There's going to be some big name YouTubers up there. The only person I can confirm, because I sent him a message. Oh wait, he might have answered me. Let's see. So Jimmy DiResta sent me a message and said he is going to be there. So Jimmy DiResta will be there at the Spring Make. And what this is Lincoln's invited a lot of YouTubers to come into the up at the factory to get training on using different techniques, whatever you want to learn. You want to MIG, TIG, stick, whatever. So, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. I got invited to go, and I am going to go. I'm going to help them teach a little bit while we're up there. And, you know, I'm going to be working with my buddy Mark Prosser. If you've never read, Mark has a couple of books that he wrote, and I highly recommend them. It's Full Bore Welding and Full Bore Sheet Metal. He did those in conjunction with Brian Fuller. I don't know if you guys know Brian Fuller. He used to work for Foose. He used to be Foose's right-hand man, building cars, and then Brian went out on his own. He's got a couple of TV shows. I think Cafe Racer, I think, is the one he's working on now. But anyway, Prosser is a good friend of mine, and we're going to kind of help co-teach up there while we're there and get to be there and teach and learn. And, you know, I'm always up for learning stuff like, you know, I can't weld titanium here. I mean, I've welded titanium, but you just can't afford it. So the reason I bring this up is if you are in the Ohio area and you're going to be around the Cleveland area or can be around the Cleveland area, March 5th, from about 6 to 9 p.m., there's going to be a maker meetup at a place called The Butcher and the Brewer. And I talked to a couple of friends that live up there, and they said it's outstanding, awesome place to hang out. But there's supposed to be around 20 YouTubers. I think that April Wilkerson's supposed to be there. Doug from Retro Weld, I don't know. Oh, Doug, I just see that. Yeah, Doug from Retro Weld's going to be there. Listen, student, no talking in the back of class, please. Yeah, I'll give you a fist there, Doug. Doug from Retro Weld's going to be there. April Wilkerson, Jimmy DiResta just texted me and said he's going to be there. Really looking forward to it. If anyone's in the Cleveland area, or, you know, if you want to drive over for the evening, come over, you know, not, you know, afraid of driving a little bit, please come over. I know they said there's going to be about 20 people in the class. Don't know who is in it yet. That's still a little bit, I don't know if the secret's the right word. I just don't know if people have confirmed. I don't know who they sent the invites out to. So the cool part about that is, you know, you can come and just hang out with the YouTube creators that are there and, you know, talk to them. Jimmy DiResta is probably one of the nicest people. Yeah, you are too, Doug, but you got to admit, DiResta's pretty cool. He's just a very laid-back guy. You can ask him anything about building anything, and he's just, I'll tell you what he knows, because you know, he basically brought himself up by his own bootstraps. So I got a lot of respect for that guy. Couple last things here. Want to talk about the Christmas video. I know a lot of people were waiting to see the video this Christmas so they can build the kids' Christmas presents. And I have to apologize to you. This year I didn't do what I thought I was going to do due to some illness in the family, nothing serious, just time. And it just boiled down to time. I didn't have time to build all those little parts like I wanted to and sit down and try to figure it all out. It's extremely time consuming. Oh, hey, I just about forgot this. Guys, at the Maker Meetup, we're going to be doing live streams. So if you guys start getting a lot of, from DoRite saying live, I'm going to try to do as many lives. Johnny Brooks is going to be there and Laura Kempf. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So we're going to be doing live streams. So hopefully, I've been talking to them. They're going to do the class portion. They're going to live stream it on maybe their Facebook page or to their, I don't know what Lincoln's going to do, but we're allowed to film. So there is going to be some video coming up. I'm going to try to do some interviews with some of the people at the Lincoln factory who have been influential to me. They've taught me, man, there's some people up there that have forgotten more about welding than I'll ever know in my life. We're talking about the Christmas presents though. So I didn't have time to, basically to get it done this year to do the video. What I did make the kids this year is pretty cool. It's called a do nothing. I sort of call it a do nothing because it does nothing, but it's kind of a neat, just little engineering slash machining project. And so let's get it in there in the camera. What it is a block of like 1.5 inch aluminum, and I think it's like 2.5 by 2.5, and then it's got a dovetail. And Randy Richard, your dovetail cutter wasn't small enough, buddy. I needed it, but it wasn't small enough. And there's a couple of blocks cut in there. And then so what happens is, let me see if I can do it. It's for the kids, and it's kind of like a little engineering project to get them to understand how levers and mechanisms work. And they've damn near worn the things out. Christmas, I swear to you, they would just sit there and they're just turning the thing, and it's good, right? I mean, that's what we did all the work for. But I was like, okay, great. I made you something that you want to play with, because the plastic toys were broken by Christmas night anyway. But so that's what I made. I'm sorry I didn't get any footage of making them. It was a little bit of a race to get stuff done. As a matter of fact, I finished those Christmas evening because our family does Christmas because of my work schedule the day after Christmas a lot of time. That machine looks cool. Dale Derry, that's build something cool. Okay, you had me feel full there for a minute, Dale. I was looking for metal tips and tricks. Which machine, Dale? Just make the project larger? Well, okay. So RZ Prodco says, my kid would love that. Well, that's the whole point of me showing you this stuff. Is like that copper rose I made a while back. I actually saw that in a magazine several years ago, and then Farmcraft did a video on it. I said, I've always wanted to make that, and I made that. Now everybody's making them out on Instagram. If you watch the metalworking side of Instagram, man, there's just tons of people making them. Make one, put it out there, show everybody. It's cool. It's a fidget turner, yes. Steve Lang from Shark River Machine. You might get the funniest comment. It says Dale Derry will make a lamp out of it. That is probably true. My good friend Dale Derry is a very creative person, and he can make a lamp out of anything. Maybe we could put a little lampshade right here, and then like you could just, like turn the thing around, right? And you could just move your lamp wherever. Dale, I call it the DoNothing Machine. That's what I call it because it does nothing, but it's kind of fun. And it's, a little more productive than the fidget spinner, which, in this house we have plenty of those with kids. So, probably start wrapping this one up. We've been talking a while. I appreciate all you guys' input out there. It's been a blast seeing all you guys, talking to you, especially, BarZ is coming up over the summer. For those of you who don't know, Stan Zakowski puts on a YouTube like Maker's Meet basically at his place out in Rancho Cucamonga, California. We call it the BarZ Industrial or BarZ Bash. This year it has a theme of like Las Vegas, like what happens at the bash stays at the bash kind of thing. It has not been officially announced yet, but I know he's working on, you know, the plans for it. You probably want to get your tickets for it. It's not expensive, and it's, you know, it's a reasonable price. You know, I don't know what he has planned, but it's not a lot of money. You want to get those tickets quick because there's going to be some pretty big names there. I know Jimmy DiResta is planning on being there. There has been some discussion with Mr. Pete to try to get him to come there. You know, Mr. Pete has a little bit of issues with, you know, travel and such, so we're all kind of trying to pitch in there to help him out. You know, we have a blast, and there is a reason they say what happens at the bash stays at the bash. I brought my son last year, so it's nothing like that, but we just do have a really good time cutting up. Viper Vet 03, you are more than welcome. I enjoy doing it. I hope that I can pass on little tidbits of learning that I've picked up doing different jobs my whole life, and pass it on to everybody to be useful, or to pass on to somebody else, because that's really what it's all about. We've got to pass it on to the younger generation, get them off those stupid computer screens. Not that, you know, there's anything wrong with that, but spend a little time outdoors, get your hands dirty, it's all good. Please remember, this week we're going to be doing a live. This coming up week, it'll be the 20th. Chris Feeble will be here on the 20th. We're going to be doing some live stuff. Please be sure to tune in, check it out if you can. And, you know, tune in and give us some thumbs up, give us some positive comments. Chris is a hilarious guy, and whatever you feed him in your comments, he will feed off it, and he'll have you cracking up. You make TIG welding seem less scary, Aaron. Listen, Aaron, TIG welding is not scary. You have more control TIG welding than you do anything else. Think of it this way: when you're MIG welding or stick welding, once you start welding, you basically have one choice: start or stop. TIG welding, you can adjust it the whole time you're welding if you're using a foot pedal control. Let's see, American Rotary. Don't forget about the Maker Meetup if you're in the Ohio area, March 5th, 6 to 9 p.m. at the Butcher and the Brewer. You guys will have to look that up. I'm not sure where that is. Again, thanks everybody for the support, the love out there. That's what keeps all of us YouTubers going. Please be sure to subscribe to everyone's channel. If you can, you know, watch the videos, because that's where our source of revenue stream is. This stuff is not cheap to make. It's extremely time consuming. You know, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. I put up pictures periodically, depending on how busy I get with work, of different things I'm doing. A lot of times it's just fun stuff with the kids here in the shop, being goofy. But it's just, you know, it's interesting. So follow us on that. And, you know, I really want to take another moment and let everybody know, you know, how much I appreciate all the positive feedback that everybody gives me while I'm putting these videos up. It takes a lot of work. Not everything goes as planned, and realize that the videos are edited together. It's not a contiguous video. So, you know, like this power panel thing took days. So you probably have about 2.5 days of work, or 2.5 days of bits of work, because I have obligations to my family and that kind of stuff. So, you know, thanks for the love and support, all the positive comments. And then anytime somebody gets on there and starts like trying to blast me, I really appreciate all my friends out there, you know, standing up for me and, you know, telling them, hey, calm down. It's, you know, the sun will come up tomorrow. Listen, everybody, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I appreciate the love and support. Remember, subscribe, Instagram, Facebook, and we'll see you real soon.